it's so important to have those policies, and it's important to have those policies up front, like even before you hire somebody, so that you know how to fire them if that is needed.
Yeah, I mean, again, hopefully you don't have to do this often, right? But you're going to have to. You might as well accept that now. And so having those systems in place, like written and verbal warnings, super important. So, what are they doing wrong? It'd be very explicit. Again, we're not attorneys, so talk to an attorney.
Right. And then through that.
Having the clear expectations of what policy they violated, how they can improve,
right.
And how long they have to improve. And then, going through that process, very detailed expectations, and then having that action plan in place. And if they don't meet that, if they don't follow that action plan over that certain amount of time, then you have to terminate. And there may be other things in there that are just like, dude, you do this, you're gone, right? Like, fraudulently
right.
Time in, time out.
What's that called? There's a name.
Immediate termination?
Yeah, immediate termination.
So,
does that depend on your state?
I'm not an attorney.
Well, I know that.
So
it does, though, right? It's something that depends, right?
So I would talk to an attorney and make sure, but you should have a list of immediate terminations. So obviously, if somebody fights somebody in the clinic, that you're not, if you see them incorrectly putting their time in and time out so that they get paid more. If somebody is fraudulently billing, they're cloning their timesheets, session notes. These are just things that there's sexual abuse. Just these are obvious things, illegal activity. There's just so many. But sleeping on the job, on their phone, with a client. There's gonna be a list of things. Yes, there's gonna be a list of things that you're like, yeah. If this happens, it's immediate termination. But also on that list, again, I am not an attorney, but you would say, this is not an all-encompassing list, right? These are just stupid obvious. And then
sometimes things are going to happen.
Yes. And then there's going to be other things, right? That you're like, why did this, who, what? And you're going to just say, yeah, you're done. And so those are just things that you want to have in place. And then, if you do have to terminate, and it's not just about if somebody leaves the company on good terms, maybe they're moving across country or, whatever, terminating their access. So if you have a pin pad on the front door of your clinic, how do you remove it so they can't come in the building? Do they have an iPad or a computer? Are you wiping their devices? And what if they don't give them back right away?
What's the policy of any client information that they may have on their person that
so
they
how
need
do you
to
do that?
drop
This
off?
is the question that I hear all the time. They quit and they won't bring back the stuff, right? They won't bring back their device. They won't bring back the binder. Okay, then we always recommend talking to a attorney. But talk to your attorney. If you have that policy, return of property policy, and this is an expectation, and then you send a certified letter and say, look, you are no longer an employee of this company. You have private health information that you are not allowed to have, and we're reporting this to the police as theft. That typically, you'll get your property back quite quickly, right?
Just a little tip: beware about you can't hold someone's pay.
No.
That's one thing that we do, and I just feel like I can't let this go. Know what you're allowed to do.
Yes. Talk to an attorney.
Most of the times, you are not allowed to hold someone's pay. So just careful.
Never hold somebody's pay. There isn't. I don't know of any situation where that is a good idea. And you can get in a lot of trouble for that. Don't mess with pay. The government will. Yeah, they're I don't know that it matters what state. There's a lot of safety measures in place for staff on that. So don't hold pay. Talk to an attorney. But typically, a certified letter where they have to sign for it from the company. Maybe their final check is in there. You're not holding pay, whatever. And they have to sign for that, and the letter's in there. And it just simply says, look, you have private health information that you're not supposed to have anymore. Here's the policy, the return of a company property policy. You're in violation of this. We have no other recourse but to contact the police and let them know that you have our property, right? And then that's it. So that's something that that you want to have in place is how do you remove access? And like, if you're like us, you're probably going to have a whole bunch of accounts for these people. So maybe you've got a Dropbox account, you've got a practice management software account, maybe they've got a training account on some site, maybe they got a CEU account, who knows, all the accounts. So having a list of all of those users is great, so you can just remove their access immediately, and you're not thinking, oh, which ones did they have? Like, you just don't want to be in that situation. You want to remove their access from all of this stuff immediately. We talked about pin number key, or like a keypad on the door versus locks is probably a better option, because you can just remove access immediately and you don't have to worry about keys, right? So
yeah, I mean, even though you might feel at the beginning that that's an expense, but just think about the expense of having to
re-key stuff,
put a new lock and new keys and issuing them out to everyone.
And it's just not even the expense, it's just the time that it takes. And oh, well, I didn't get the new key, and because I was out on the weekend and now I can't get to my set. Like, just one missed or two missed sessions because they don't have the keys to get it is going to pay for the door lock with the pin pad, right? Like, it's just, I would get it right away. It just makes your life easier. And, with all of these things, you have to keep privacy, HIPAA compliance, state privacy law in mind. And again, an attorney, highly recommend you have an attorney for all of these things. But it's really important that you have clear expectations on termination, what could be defined as immediate termination, having those very extensive written and verbal warnings with clear expectations, and then having that exit interview and the termination of access. And typically, I would recommend giving an exit interview to anybody that'll fill it out. And you may not get great information, but you may see a trend that you wouldn't have otherwise. So you shouldn't just get a exit interview for people that are leaving on good terms. I would recommend an exit interview for everyone.